All right, let's talk about this idea of the three threes. This is a very simple idea when you think of it correctly, and it's really just the fact that the third note in a major scale can be three different chords. So let's say we are in E flat major. That's what I wrote this out in. So we know that E flat major, well, there's our E flat major chord. Okay, cool. So if we have E flat major, we know that all the chords in the key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? So we can do all these different movements, but when we get to the 3, we know that's usually minor, right? G minor. But what you also realize is that it can also be E flat major over G, right? So you can either do it like that with a G in the bass, or you could do it right here. It's kind of a small version of it, right? E flat major, put a G in the bass. So that G is a very important note. It can be 3 minor, which is a G in the bass, diatonic to the key. Or it could be G in the bass, E flat major. So there, right there, you already have either a minor chord or a major chord. So that's what's going on when I talk about this. The 1 chord can be 1, but it can also be over G. It's an inversion, right? So this kind of gives you an idea of different ways of playing it. You can do it like that, if I wanted to. So there's my E flat. It's kind of like a D shape, right? But put a G in the bass. Well, now you have a third note in the bass, right? But it's an E flat note, or an E flat chord with a G in the bass. You can do that here. You see how it comes from that big chord. So then you have G minor. This should be a red dot for the root, but that's that's our third degree in the scale, right? If we do 1, 2, 3, well, we know it's G minor. So that's one possibility. But now you can also make it, if you watch the secondary dominant lecture, you can also make it dominant. 3 dominant is the 5 of 6. So in other words, when you're playing tunes, you're going to realize that the third note in the scale can either be major 1, inversion, first inversion. It can be 3 minor, diatonic to the key, or it can be a secondary dominant, G7, 5 of 6. Right? It's part of a minor 2-5. So this kind of shows you how to kind of achieve all these. This is all the inversions of G. Just to kind of show you how to kind of approach it. But, we realize that G, in this case, our third note, we're in E flat major, can be a 1 chord, first inversion, G in the bass, 3 chord, diatonic, G in the bass, secondary dominant, 3 dominant, G in the bass. So that's what I mean by 3 different threes, right? The 3 threes. So that helps you because you'll start to see this in different tunes. Some tunes are major 1 over 3, which is, E flat major over G. Some tunes are that. It's not G minor. You know what I mean? So it's interesting because you'll have the difference between a major sound, right, and a minor sound. It's a drastic difference between, and then even from dominant, right? So major, minor, or dominant, both from the 3. All 3 are from the 3s, the 3 threes. So hopefully that helps you. I'll have to find some tunes that do each one. You know what I mean? So I'll make a more complete video of that, kind of pair it with some tunes. So I'll have to keep my eye out for that. But hopefully that helps. And just keep in mind, this also goes for the 7th note in the scale, right? You could either have, maybe we should do a different video on that, but for an E flat, D is the 7th note. That can be D half diminished. That can be a 5 chord, first inversion. So that's very common, you know what I mean? So you have different versions of these different notes. So the 3 threes, and we just went over the 2 different 7s, right? So hopefully this helps, and try and find some tunes and let me know. I'll make a more complete version of this.